Yen Kasa is proudly brought to you by EK100, Minada Hair Care, and Genia Desserts. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Yen Kasa. Today, we are going to talk about an interesting topic, talking stage. How long should it be? What are the pros and cons? What are the expectations you're supposed to have? So joining me today will be two individuals who are going to help me talk about this topic. So stick with us. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Great. I like your new look, Aaron.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm tempted to say I like your new look, but I'm not seeing anything new on you. So let's get on with it, right? So would you? You can say thank you
For keeping your old look.
Thank you. Right. So would you do us the honors and introduce yourselves?
My name is Aram, but I'm preferring my other name now. My name is Noeli.
Right.
And you and I have been friends for we met in high school.
I was hoping you would say that.
We met in high school. That's how long you and I have been friends.
Once you start talking about high school, people get to calculate my age, and I don't.
Yeah, we may look young, but we're not that young. And
I am young.
Fabulous.
Speak for yourself.
I am young and fabulous. I'm like 16.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't like to talk about what I do, so I'm not going to say that, but I'm a nice person.
Yeah, you are. So,
Hi, Rudy, who are you?
would you introduce yourself too?
Wow.
What?
Like, I'm just feeling the vibe.
Yeah, me too.
Like, the host calls me Rudy.
Mm-hmm.
My baby calls me Rudy. I call myself Rudy. People call me Rudy. Those days, they call me Rudy, but then my name is Rudy.
Right.
That's all you need to know about me. Thank you.
Kind of introduction is this?
So I get that this is going to be a crazy one, looking at the two people I have on set today. So to go into the topic we have for today, we are talking about talking stages. How long is too long? And what are the pros and cons? What are the expectations? How do you navigate it once you're going through it? But to start with, I want us to, first of all, define what a talking stage is. Who would like to go first?
Girl.
Okay, ladies first.
So whatever you say, I'll push it to Aram. She will start.
Right.
So I would define talking stage as in the phase between when you meet someone and when you make the relationship official. And it's so funny when you told me we were going to talk about this, I was like, talking stage, so when did this want to appear? Because for those of us who have been around for a minute, right?
Right.
These things were not there. But then I remember 4 years ago when I went to therapy for the first time, when we were coming out of COVID, coming out of a relationship. And the first thing I'll never forget my therapist said, which has stuck with me and is evidently becoming clear, is that the nature of relationships have changed.
True.
And so then things like talking stage, situationships, it's a real thing
now.
And so all these definitions have come back then. Boy meets girl, lies girl, we move.
That's it.
Right now we have to go into this whole phase that is called a talking stage before we now decide that we're going to be in a relationship. And even that one, you need to make sure that everything is clear.
True.
And both parties are aligned that we're being exclusive. That has to be a whole thing. Because you may think that you're being exclusive with someone. And when we get into the conversation, you realize that some of the do's and don'ts of talking stages even varies, right? It's very subjective. So before Rudy goes, I'll just say it's the phase between when you meet someone before you enter into a committed relationship. That's what I'll define my talking stage to be.
Right. Rudy.
Well, talking stage, for me, it doesn't exist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean by talking stage? We are talking. Whatever you do, we are talking. Whether to marriage, to have this thing, we are still talking.
I really don't understand this thing, but you continue.
Yeah.
Okay. But then it's all about talking to each other, okay? Getting to know the person. I don't see why you should have a stage where you say, okay, this particular stage, we are saying, okay, it's a talking stage. From there, we move to another level. Like, am I in school?
Hey,
Wow.
this is
No,
strong.
I'm not in school.
Right.
So if I'm starting, we are going.
Wow.
When we are talking, we are
If I'm
talking.
starting,
We are going.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if we are going, we will reach. If you don't reach, you will get down from the
That is it.
Right.
So technically for me, it doesn't exist. It's all about us having a good time.
You just jumping, and then if it works,
If it works, yes. If it doesn't,
you move.
that's it.
Right. So, one thing I want to find out, Aram thinks that it's the stage between when you meet somebody till when you are actually a thing. You guys are an item.
Yeah.
And you say it doesn't exist. So let's put it in our Ghanaian culture. Looking at our understanding of relationships, how does that affect what you say doesn't exist and what she says exists?
See, for me, it doesn't exist because, like, we are still talking to each other. Our community, our environment, okay, doesn't determine how my relationship should go.
I agree with that.
Right.
So if I say I'm talking to you and then our talking stage leads to marriage, that's it. If it doesn't lead to marriage,
That's it.
yeah, it doesn't determine or it doesn't depend on what people say. It's all about what I think I want to do, what I don't want to do, what both of us are agreeing to do. Sure.
Yeah. And I'll say that, like, the world is becoming a global village. So I don't even want to restrict this content
To Ghanaian.
to the Ghanaian setting, because this content is going to be on the worldwide web. So,
Okay. So with that said,
yeah.
I want to ask, what are some of the expectations and unspoken rules when it comes to this particular topic?
So, I mean, just before I answer this, so it's just what we're talking about before this. So it's not necessarily in the context. Like, talking stage is talking stage anywhere in the world.
Right.
Now, back to your question about what are the pros. Are you saying?
No, I'm saying, what are the expectations? What are the unspoken rules that exist?
You know, and it's not, and this unspoken thing doesn't just exist in talking stage. It's human relations as a whole. One of the things that I've also come to realize in my many years is that one of the things that destroys a relationship is unmet expectations.
Right.
Right? Once we become friends with people, we have expectations of them, whether we say it explicitly or not.
Yeah.
You expect that because I know you, you know me. There are certain things that I expect from you, right?
Right.
Now, where it becomes tricky is when we narrow it down. So, I've met you. I think I want to be in a relationship with you, but I need to get to know you to make sure that we align. We have the same values, the same beliefs. We agree on things, basic things that will make the relationship work, right? So, so having expectations or not having expectations of someone in a talking stage is very difficult, because sometimes some things will happen and you want to talk about it, but you're like, is it too early?
Yeah.
Should I be having this conversation with you? If you do something to offend me, like, should I, like, typical example, I'll be giving a lot of sin.
I like it when people give me real life situations.
I'm somebody where, even with my friends, right, if you leave my house or we meet or we go somewhere, I'll be like, oh, text me when you get home or something, because that's how I move. Now you meet someone, they get home, they don't text you. 3 days later, they call you to check up on you, and I'm in my feelings about it, right? And then the person's like, but why are you angry? Because they are thinking, I just met you. Like, I don't have to do this. And then it continues with time. Now I'll be in a stage of, should I have a conversation with you and let you know that these are my standards,
Right.
even for basic friendships, right? Or because I just met you and I'm trying to get to know you, this could be a potential relationship. I don't have that right.
But don't you think that is the more reason why you should, talk to the person, because you met the person, this could be a potential relationship.
Exactly.
And it is bothering you.
You see, so now we're two people. Someone, and I've had this happen to one of my friends, when she complained about something like that, it's like, this is why I don't like he was very pissed off because he's feeling
So
like,
dismissed it.
I just met you.
Right.
And I told my friend that, listen, like you rightly said, you're trying to get someone to get to be in a relationship. If I can't come to you about something as basic as this that bothers me, then what are we doing? Because if we can't get through, you can't meet the basic expectation as in basic communication. I am home. Then what are we doing?
You know, for you saying you are home, with that example, okay, you saying you are home, it makes sense to you,
Yes.
okay, but to the other person, it's very normal.
Yeah.
You are home.
Okay.
So,
See, I get it. But you see, that's why we are talking to get to know each other. So then that will let me know that with this person that I'm dealing with, he doesn't give a fuck if you get home or not. Now I have to ask myself, do I really want to be with somebody who doesn't care if I get home or not?
Yeah, you should.
You should. Means a lot to me. So these are the nuances that we're talking to. So when you're talking to people, there will be expectations. The question is it too early to have this expectation of this person or not? Somebody can meet you tomorrow and ask you that, oh, pay my rent. Like, I just
people do that.
You'll be surprised.
Wow.
Especially Accra people.
But if you tell me to pay your rent for you, dear,
Rudy, what do you make of this?
I'm done with you.
Wow. You see, talking.
I'm done with
expectations.
Look, from the onset, okay, I said there's nothing like talking stage.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I feel if you have something to say, something is not going down well with you.
Yeah.
Okay. You are feeling the person. Possibly the person is feeling you.
They better. And another unmet expectation, you would realize that you meet people, right? And you think, oh, this person likes me, I like them. You'll be surprised. The person don't like you like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Another talking stage expectation that is unmet.
Right.
Back to you. Sorry, baby.
I don't see why you should expect something from someone. Okay. Unless, of course, it is something that is within you. Okay.
Are you saying that you shouldn't have an expectation?
Of people in general or someone you're trying to be with?
Someone you are trying to be with.
Really? Everybody has been reading that book, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Because what does it even mean?
I want to hear your view on that. Like
the kind of heart I have.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Is different.
Explain why you're single, Sha. But please.
At this moment,
shots fired.
Shots are fired.
Right.
And I'll fire back.
I trust you. I trust you to fire.
So the thing is that you are seeing me, I'm seeing you. Right. Why do you have expectations of me?
Why not?
Let's take off the expectations and say, okay,
we should go with the flow.
We should go with the flow. All right, when I do something you don't like,
say,
or you are not in for, let me know. Let it not be an expectation.
So with this, are you going to communicate this to her that?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's be blunt with each other.
Right.
Transparency.
Right.
If you are not ready for it, don't go with me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think before you just come in, then there are people like Rudy, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like people like this, when they meet you day one, and just bring your Bible, as in your rules and regulations. That way you help someone manage their expectations of you.
So on that note, I think we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and then explore the other aspect of it, right? Before we went on a break, you were telling us how you think we shouldn't have expectations, as in you, Rudy. And Aram was like, she agreed with the fact that you bring your Bible so that you get it on right from the onset. Yeah. Right. So on the back of that, what I want to ask you is, so you believe in open communication about everything you want and you expect of the person. That means that there's still a certain level of expectation, right?
Expectation,
or is the word
objective?
Okay, right.
For me, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Expectations too don't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So what exists for you? Now I need to know.
The things that exist for me
is what God cannot do.
Thank you. See, I believe in flowing.
Going with the flow.
Going with the flow. If you are beaten, withdraw.
Wow.
If you are beaten and you still have heart, continue. We are going. We will get.
So I'm curious now. So have you met people who have been able to, go with this your flow?
For the start, it's hard.
Definitely.
Because for most ladies,
Most ladies you have met, you mean?
yeah, most ladies I've met. No, most ladies that have met me. Okay.
You people need to find me a clip, like, so I can stop rebutting because what?
So
Most ladies who
they
have
come
met
in with expectations.
Yeah.
And then I tell you that, whatever your expectations are, for me, I will disappoint you. Big time.
Right.
Don't bring your expectations. Let us talk about things, okay? At a point when things are not going well, just let me know.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, let's move with the flow.
Right.
If it is expectations, God is there.
Right. So
If every time I meet someone, they say go with the flow, it's a red flag for me.
well, I also don't think go with the flow is something I would like to do.
You should not do it. I will do it.
I understand you.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is why Rudy is single.
Once again, that is why I have so many that I am not looking at.
It's a lie, but
So guys, I want to ask, what are the cons of talking stage, if there are any?
oh yeah, so many cons. The cons are enormous. Like the cons help you eliminate people like Rudy, right?
Right.
Yeah, now I'm a subject.
Yeah, that needs to be studied seriously. Right next to why trotro drivers drive the way they do. Right after that subject,
That's true. That's true.
This
That's
makes
true.
sense. But as I was saying, there's so many cons. One of them is so that you avoid people like Rudy. Like, if I go on a date with a guy like Rudy and he comes saying all of these things, and I've met people like him, like you'll be surprised.
Also, it's not like a peculiar situation.
Like, and it happens in various ways. Like, you meet people and they are saying stuff like,
Weird things.
I don't tell women I love them. I am not romantic. I am not going to do this.
Wait, the person is not romantic. So what's the person doing with you then?
I am surprised.
No, but the person is talking to you.
Exactly. I was going to ask that. How do you end up with a man who tells you I'm not romantic?
No, so you see, that's the talking stage. People, you go out, you meet people. You think that, and that's the beautiful thing about, that's the pro about talking stage.
Well,
When you meet people, you talk to them, you get to know them, and you encounter all of these things.
But you know, there is a way to talk to someone without letting the person know that you are expecting this from the person.
We've moved from expectations. We're just talking.
I'm just saying something to you.
It's not like nobody comes and says, you know what, I'm talking to you. These are all my expectations. That is also a red flag and a weirdo.
Ooh.
So when it comes to yours, 10, you can speak about that. As I was saying about the pros, you are talking to these people and you're finding out. I was surprised when that guy was going on. If he was going on, every time they do that, I'm like, who hurt you? Because, wow. And when you go deeper with time, you realize that these people, once upon a time, really loved somebody and liked somebody, and they were gravely hurt.
right.
And so they've put up all these walls and fences,
True.
barriers to make sure that I am sifting through the things. Like you said, don't come at me with no expectations. And so I get that,
Right.
right? But then we all have different things that we're looking for, which is why we're talking to people. So one of the major processes is you get to know people literally.
Yeah.
And then you decide, and I have said this over and over again, that you need to have your rules, your standards, your own Bible before you start talking to people.
Somebody.
So that when you are talking to someone and the person is saying something to you, you are matching them up to what you are looking for.
Yeah.
Because it's a relationship. You are looking for something, I'm looking for something, and we're coming together.
And
So we are talking
the
to
middle.
see that do we align before we get into the relationship, which is why I say it's the phase between
meeting somebody and then becoming.
starting the relationship. So that is crucial. Most people do what? which I'm not gonna. Yeah, most people skip that part, right? And then into the relationship, they have their first fight.
They find out all the things that they refuse to talk about.
And so something happens. So you meet someone like Rudy, real guy, great guy, the vibe is going, you're flowing. First fight. Then he starts saying all this, I don't want people to have expectations of me. I don't believe in this. The other one I met who says, I don't tell people like, I'm not. And you're like, when did we...
How did we get here? Exactly. The talking stage.
Okay, see.
Because you decided to go Rudy's route. Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. And the flow has ended you into that sea. Now you can't swim.
When you are saying this, then we are looking at Galatians.
So the pro is you get to know people.
And you choose based off your standards.
You know.
Right.
Based off of your standards. So you have your to-do list or you have what you're looking for. Then you meet this great guy. Talk to him. Get to know him. Then match that to what you have. Then decide if you want to.
You haven't touched on the cons. You've been talking about the pros.
The cons is then you will be like me. When now, and I would say, I'm sure you asked the question, but how long is too long for me? I have a 3 months top. I am not talking stage more than 3 months because, and that's a personal thing. When I'm getting to know people, I'm in a phase of where I'm intentionally dating. So if I am investing time in getting to know you, I am very intentional about it.
1 quarter top.
I am asking questions.
Right.
I am probing. There are no bars.
So your probates take you 3 months.
I'm going to respond to that.
I'm very interested in that way.
It doesn't, because then things are happening. It's not like we sit down and we talk every day for 3 straight months. We have work, we have life. Things are going on. And then there's a difference between talking to someone on the phone.
What you are saying is that you give yourself 3
months maximum.
Yes. You don't go beyond.
No.
Regardless of how.
People for 1 week and stop talking to them and then block them every day.
Oh, right. Blocking people.
Yes, honey. I stay on the block, honey. Whoever invented that, great guy, top notch guy. Block them.
Thank God I've not been blocked.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be blocked soon.
I need to reconsider your access to me.
With the way you are going.
Yeah. You didn't
right.
be blocked.
Rudy.
So let him go with the pros and I'll come back with the cons.
What do you think are the pros? And
Mr. Go with the flow.
Yeah, you flow with the flow.
Whatever.
Oh, you just get to know the person inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The things the person likes, the things the person doesn't like. Okay. The triggers. And
right.
Within that stage, within your talking stage. Okay.
But you do realize that you go with the flow. So you are saying talking stage doesn't exist. But now you are saying that within that time, you get to learn.
What is that time called?
It's called your time. The thing is that
right.
I'm not up for talking stage.
Is it that you just don't want to call it that?
That's what I say.
Okay.
I'm not calling it talking stage.
You just.
So all I'm saying is, I'm feeling you, you are feeling me. We are having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking to each other. There are things I want to know about you. There are things you want to know about me.
Mm.
There are things that, trigger you.
Yeah.
Things that didn't trigger you. We get to know about all those things.
Right.
And then if it feels that we will continue, fine. If not.
Right. So what will be, in your opinion, the cons to this before Aram goes?
Mm-hmm.
God help me.
God,
see, but you don't expect people to have expectations. What really will be a con for you in this?
There are no cons for it.
It looks like there are no cons for me.
There are cons.
So once you keep talking and then you feel like this is not working, you cut ties with the person.
Not cutting ties. Okay,
right.
That's why we are talking. Like, if I don't like what you are doing, or if I don't like what's going on, I just let you know that this I don't like. And I believe if I'm able to tell you that, okay, this doesn't work for me, you should be able to tell me that, okay, this doesn't also work for you. You get
right. 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 Aram.
The cons of talking stage is sometimes you don't give people a lot of chances.
True.
That's been my experience. And because for someone like me, every time I speak on these things, I'm using me. Sometimes, unlike me, I'm one of those people, I move at a lighter speed. Like, you mean me, you like me, you're talking to me,
Now we do this thing.
minus you.
Please go ahead.
And so sometimes people are, and you know, the way life happens, right? Things are going on. Sometimes someone is in a phase of their life, so they can be giving like 110% to something, right? And I have already probably cut the person because I'm not getting what I want at like month 1. Meanwhile, maybe in month 2 or 3,
The person will step up.
he could step up.
Yeah.
But then I'm one of those people to like, if I catch you, unless God
Comes down,
and
come
speak
in.
to me, it's a wrap.
Speak to you.
So that is some of the cons for me when it comes to talking stage. But then there are people who have been cut out of the talking stage. For some reason we can bring them out of the recycle bin.
Oh, there's hope for Rudy then.
Correct. Yeah.
Not for Rudy. Like after this, I may have to block him with all these things that he's saying. But
So
for me,
find another way.
that is like the con, not giving people chances just because you are on a timeline.
Would you also consider the fact that sometimes, okay, you have a timeline. So maybe when we get to that, we can explore that option. Rudy, what do you think should be the ideal time frame? How long is too long?
There's no time frame.
For the guy going on the floor, he has no time frame.
There's no time frame.
You know.
Don't explain. There's no time frame. Next question. You go there, explain time. He has no time frame.
Right. So then back to you, who has a 3-month time frame.
Yes.
How does that work?
So let me use this. So in that 3 months, right, I'm focusing on getting to know you. And then a conversation came up about talking stage in my office this week where someone was saying that they are talking to multiple people.
Yeah.
So there's a thing where people can be in multiple talking stages with multiple
Isn't it
people.
draining?
Very. I don't know how they have the energy to do that. And then, for you who goes with the flow, obviously. And so then it's a struggle for me to do that. But then you realize that even if you're talking to multiple people, they are at different stages, right? So you met this person maybe in January, and then you met this person in March. And so, there's that difference. But me, because I'm in the phase of intentionally dating people, I am focusing on one, like getting to know one person at a time. So they are like top focus, and then whoever I meet subsequently,
they climb up.
so it's like a league table.
Yeah.
Understand?
Wow.
Now it also depends on how you are performing. So as how you are performing, you're either going up the table or coming down the table. It's really
So it's winning.
But then will they win the league eventually?
That's the question we should. Yeah.
That is.
They definitely will.
The bottle, let's.
And then at the end of the season, they fumble you.
Exactly.
Right? And then
United.
yeah. Wow. Sorry about that. The host is a Manchester United
You
fan.
don't have to bring that. I'm not in a very great place of my team right now. Please.
Yeah. Maybe you need to exit the talking stage with this team.
No.
It's too late.
No, this one we are stuck for life. Life is for life. Shatawale said it.
Wow. Anyway, back to the issue about the 3 months. So it's about putting it together and then see how you can navigate it. But alternatively, what I would want to do, but then I honestly think I can extend the 3 months to be.
I was going to ask because then, I'm sure there will be instances where you meet somebody who you would find that the person is trying. The person genuinely has issues they are dealing with, but they are making the effort to meet you halfway.
Then that would be the exception to the rule, I think. Because
So it's not cast in stone.
it's not. And you see, what I mean by the 3 months time is by the end of the 3 months, if we are intentionally
You should be
getting
able
to
to
know
make
each
a
other,
decision.
we should be honing it to make a decision. Do we want to be in a relationship or not?
Okay.
And I found out recently that, and sometimes something can be preventing that. Like in these days of social media, people's exes are in the corner, left, right, and center. Even once the person is in that talking stage with you, they might have actually met other people as well,
Right.
which they are also trying.
So I think that to bring back this conversation, we need to extend it to the level of having to talk to multiple people.
Yeah.
How does that also play into what we are talking about? But not today because we are far behind time. One last question I would like to ask both of you is, how do you navigate this talking stage period? You are saying that there is no timeline to it. You go with the flow. How do you navigate it? You are saying that you have a timeline of 3 months, which is considerably going to increase if the person pulls their weight. How do you navigate all of this?
Let me come in before he flows away.
Yeah, you need to come.
I would say that, like I mentioned earlier, it depends on what's going on. A lot can be going on. And so sometimes that 3 months can be extended depending on what the circumstances are. But then the big question is, what is preventing us from making this relationship official? Right? What is preventing us from doing that? So it has to be something substantial.
Right.
Yeah, if it's something substantial, maybe, and sometimes it can be me. Maybe I don't have all the things that I need to do the prerequisite to get into that relationship. So if I don't have all the answers, then
maybe you have not even healed properly.
Probably, and maybe there are things that I need to deal with that is preventing me. So it's not necessarily always about them.
The other
I may even extend my timeline, say, there's something I need to work on, or there's something I need to see before I decide if I want to be in a relationship. I've met people who in a month have asked me, I'm like, no, we're not there yet.
Right.
So it goes both ways. I've been in several situations where I've been ready and they're not ready, or they are ready and I'm not ready. And so those are some of the things that can affect the timeline. But for me, within 3 months, if you are seriously talking to someone, you're seriously pursuing them with the intention of, and sometimes people just want to waste your time, right?
Yeah.
And so the 3 month is where you cap it at. And then if there's some serious reason why you're both not ready, then you can continue to know each other. But don't let your talking stage be 1 year. Like, I don't understand.
People talk for 1 year.
Exactly. What are we doing? The go with the flow people, maybe, but not me.
Let's hear you.
Don't say the go with the flow. Like, we don't do.
Talk to the host. Don't talk to me.
Hey, you're wrong. We don't do 1 year.
Right. So, Rudy, tell us.
So for people like us, okay, I believe when I start talking to you, okay, I try to get into your mind, okay. Then we are looking at maturity,
right?
Okay, so there are things that we need to look out for,
right?
Rudy's out here.
Yeah, coming back to expectations. Don't worry.
Giving sapiosexual vibes. Spell sapiosexual. Get into your mind.
So I try to get into your mind to see what exactly or how you find my talking to you. Yeah. So I know how to deal with you. Okay. I realize that I will realize that, okay, maybe you are not up there with me. Okay. So then, if I really like you, I'll push you up there with
Pusher.
Akila.
I'll push you.
Or push me.
Right.
It's Sabo.
Right.
So it's just about, aligning with each other.
And these alignments you're talking about are not subject to any timeline per what you said, right?
Not really.
Okay. So then it means that it can actually come back to Aram's point that you can go for a year.
No, never.
That's true.
No.
So at what point do you come?
When I realize that
You can't
not
push
up there, you are not up there with me.
And you don't want to be pushed there.
No.
Right.
Then then I'll just cut it off.
Which can take a year.
No,
But then again,
it wouldn't take a year.
Right. Guys, thank you very much. I think that this conversation is not over yet.
No.
There are other aspects that I want us to explore. So I would like to have you guys again. I mean, this was fun. I'd like to have you again. So let's talk.
I hope the time you'll be having us, I'll not be blocked.
I hope so too. So let's make time to do this. Viewers, thank you for joining us. As you heard, we are not done. We're going to extend this conversation and catch us next time on Yen Kasa. Bye.